Good afternoon.
Hello.
We have a fun little quiz we're going to give you today to find out what kind of a crafter you really are. Now, we just thought this would be a fun thing to do. I remember a long time ago when I used to read magazines a lot, all the quizzes, you'd find out what kind of whatever. Did you ever take
Oh,
any
yes. What kind of farmer would you make? No.
Oh, okay. No.
Terrible.
In women's magazines, there were lots of them about how you would describe all kinds of things. So if you remember any of those, put in the chat what those were about. I was trying to think, were they about like your fashion style, your homemaking style? I have no idea. But in thinking about that,
my dad's American Legion magazine, what kind of soldier? So I signed up.
Yeah, that's right. So welcome those of you who are joining us live. So we thought this would just be fun to do something different and have a little fun with it. You know, we love reminiscing about the old days and kind of making things new again. So welcome, Jeanette, Vesta, Amanda, and everyone else. And if you're watching the replay, we would love your comments. I'm going to ask Tim at the end what category he thinks we're going to get the most. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Okay,
We'll figure that out and do reports. Okay. So we came up with this. What kind of a crafter are you? If you are really good at remembering, you can do this in your head. It's just 5 questions and they're A, B, C, D answers. But I think it's easier to have a paper and pen. Are we ready? Okay. Question number 1. Okay. When you sit down to craft, what's your biggest goal? A, to relax and have fun. B, to try a new technique. C, to make a bunch of cards quickly. Or D, to share what I made with someone I care about. I know exactly which one you'd fit in if you ever did sit down to do a card, or when you asked me for a D, absolutely. So very fun. Joan says she loves hearing stories. Stories bring back memories, don't they? So we thought we'd have fun. You know, there's nothing serious about this. This is just a playful way to celebrate the different ways we'd like to craft. And then I'll tell you which one I fit into too. So
should I keep my score?
No, I think we can remember your scores. Okay, I'm going to repeat them
once. Get D's on everything.
And you can go ahead and you can put your answers right in here. And at the end, tell us what they, if you need help with that, or just do it on paper. And at the end, we'll ask which kind of crafter you are. I'm going to repeat them once. When you sit down to craft, what's your biggest goal? A, to relax and have fun. B, to try a new technique. C, to make a bunch of cards quickly. Or D, to share what I made with someone I care about. I'm seeing lots of D's. I'm seeing lots of D's. The D's have it here. So, but Marilyn says all the above, depending on the day. Isn't that the truth? Okay, ready for question 2? What does your craft space look like?
Ooh.
You can answer this about your workspace. Okay. A, kind of messy, but I know where things are. B, this is pretty organized. I keep it tidy. C, whatever space I can find today. Or D, a place where I can craft with others if I'm lucky. Do you want to hear that again? What does your craft space look like? A, kind of messy, but I know where things are. I'm saying that would be you. Would you say?
Well, I'll just tell you that I was supposed to send my daughter a check, and then I found it under a stack of stuff. Yeah. So no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be A.
B, pretty organized. I like to keep it tidy.
No.
C, whatever space I can find today.
Yeah, that's me too.
Or D, a place where I can craft with others if I'm lucky. Seeing a bunch of A's and C's. Kathy says complete chaos. Double C. That's pretty funny. Okay, ready for the next one? Question 3. Your favorite kind of project is A, something fun and simple. B, something that teaches me a new trick. C, something quick that I can make in multiples. Or D, something I can give away or teach someone else how to make. And hear those again? Your favorite kind of project is. It's easy to rule out a couple, and then sometimes I think there's a couple left that you have to decide between, you know. Something fun and simple. B, something that teaches me a new trick. C, something quick I can make in multiples. D, something I can give away or teach someone else to make. I'd say I'm probably a C because I'm always making multiples of things, but sometimes I like to do the other. So all of the above. Yeah, and there isn't a choice for that.
That's mine.
Then you might be all, okay.
E, that's E. All of the above.
All of the above. And then I guess they're all four types. Okay.
None of the above. That's mine. It'd be F. That'd be an F.
Okay, question 4.
Okay,
okay. Do you want to think about that some more?
No, you're speeding up.
I think your favorite kind of projects would be something you could give away. Yeah. I mean, that would happen.
But the second half of that is or
teach someone else to make.
Just give away.
Yeah, you just give it away.
Read them all again because you read.
Your favorite kind of project. Something fun and simple is A. Something that teaches me a new trick, B. C, something quick that I can make in multiples. I do that. D, something I can give away or teach someone how to make. All right. Got it? Okay, question 4. And since this is for fun, you can also pick 2 if you want. At the end, you're just going to count up which one you have most of. So I'd say don't even worry about this. This is self-described fun. Question 4. How do you pick your supplies? A, I choose what makes me happy. B, I buy what I saw in a tutorial. C, I look for things that are versatile. Or D, I pick things I think others will love receiving. Just as I'm glad I'm not alone. What you're doing. Okay, I'm ready to repeat that one. Now that you've heard them all. Mm-hmm. How do you pick your supplies? A, I choose what makes me happy. B, then that might be if you buy everything, that might be just because it all makes you happy, B, I buy what I saw in a tutorial. C, I look for things that are versatile. D, I pick things I think others will love receiving. That's for those of you who, will buy a fishing stamp because you have one person in your life that likes to fish and you want to make a card for that person, but you don't think you'd ever use it again. That would be picking things others would like receiving. I have to throw that in because it's kind of a fun.
Okay. There's that D.
Uh-huh.
Okay. E. For me, it is... I'm so bad. Okay, what's the question?
I might
I know.
You choose your supplies.
If it has to do with adhesives, that's the only things I care about. I got to find where's Karen's.
But it's because you find some random thing. So it might be a sticker. It's something you kind of find around randomly. So I would say you choose what makes you happy in terms of if something just grabs you and you have an idea, then you go, oh, where's your adhesive? I'm making something. Yes. So I think that would fit under that. Okay. And last question. If someone asks about your card making hobby, you say, A, it's my happy place. B, let me show you what I just made. C, it's so easy, you should try it. Or D, come on over and craft with me.
Or E, look what trip I just went on.
Okay, back again. If someone asks you about your card making hobby, you say, A, it's my happy place.
That'd be mine too.
B, let me show you what I just made. C, it's so easy, you should try it. Or D, come and craft with me. It is hard to pick between these, if you need to pick one. So, okay, now you're going to count up your scores. How many A's you got, B's, C's, D's. So even if you added, a few on some, you might have one that has more. Otherwise, you're going to be a combination of these. Are we ready for the results? Oh, I love seeing all these results on here. This is so fun. Okay, if you have mostly A's, Tim, that would absolutely be you. You are...
I lost track really soon.
A hobby hugger. that would fit you. There we go.
Here's my hobby.
You craft just for the joy of it. That's totally you. It's your way to relax and recharge. And hey, you might like to get the starter kit. I had to throw that in at the end just because you get the perks and no obligation. So I just had to throw that in if you're a hobby hugger. I had to throw that in. Okay, we got A. Okay, hobby hugger. I like that. Okay. Next, if you have mostly B's, Someone said, what? It's a hard A. That means you guys, okay, whatever. Okay. If you got mostly B's, you are a technique tinkerer.
Tinkerer.
Check this one out. Got all the supplies and you're going to tinker around. This means you love learning new things and trying new tricks. And you're that kind of person. So I'd love to know. So as you identify, put your name in here and what you are, because we do want to have a question about how many, but technique tinkerer is kind of an interesting description, because that to me is someone who likes to play with different ways of doing things. So I think that's kind of fun, because these are kind of descriptive. Maybe, I'm a little bit of this one. I am not a this one.
Hobby hugger.
Because I'm always thinking business. So I just skip right by the hobby. But I love people that do this, because I think that is kind of that true caring where we bless other people with what we make. Someday, maybe I'll be that.
And she gives me a hug every day.
But I'm kind of this. I think I'm definitely this next one. If you have mostly C's, crafty, efficientista. This is it a Latin word? It's about being efficiency, or some kind of an expert. And I thought it just kind of fit. I was going to look up exactly what it meant. Someone else might want to, but this describes me. This is you love getting the most out of every sheet of paper. You make quantities. You find quick ways of doing things. You're efficient. It also and you love any tools that help you save time or money. So you're big on doing anything that you just want to save things. Okay. So you always like to know what's new and get new things,
Karen sits outside at a table when it's nice out. Mm-hmm. She has a whole bunch of junk out there. And she goes in and she's totally efficient. She goes on to her next thing, and Tim cleans all this.
And I say, Tim, clean up on back porch.
Yes.
And he does it. It's a joke between us. I say, it took me 4 trips to get it all out there. But, when I'm done, I'm just going to move in and he's the picker-upper. But I just love this. I will post this on the blog. This is pretty fun.
So I did that today, and I couldn't remember where I put her stuff. And it ended up in the kitchen.
And then if you got mostly D's, and I think this is really Tim, but it doesn't fit probably some of the answers we did. But if you got mostly D's, and this is awesome, you are a crafty connector.
Ooh, I am.
You're a life connector, even more than a crafty. So connector is a word I would use to describe you, but I don't know if you're connected. But, this is the person who changes people's lives by being thoughtful and sending out cards and just, and welcoming people in to stamp with you. That's part of this too. You're that connector. You notice things, you comment on things.
Oh.
You notice some people are missing. You're the one who reaches out, and we need more people like that. I know in my life, I am not, I am really an introvert, and I am not like a social planner. I love being included in things, but I'm not the one who's going to go plan it. But I always think with card making, there are just little subtle ways that we can do that, be the connector to invite someone over to craft or do whatever. But I just thought, I just love that idea, because for this person, it's all about relationships. It's the love you show, build, it's a community. Both, it could be who you stamp with, but it's also who you give the things to.
This is me.
And yes, and who you're thinking about when you make things. This really is you. It is kind of, to me, kind of those thoughts. And boy, in this world, we need crafty connectors. So I'm ending with that one, because I just think, I think it's also fun because you can see yourself in different ways in these things. And if this isn't you, it might be a new way of thinking about yourself. As I'm thinking about that, I love that idea, because if I'm not the outgoing connector type, how would I use this to be a connector? That's by sending cards, making somebody's day. So now we put in the comments, and I'll start a string over on Facebook. So we'll do a question. So I'd like to see how many people, what you primarily relate to. And if you look at your answers, and now you look at these and think, oh, there's one of those that just really fits me. You can certainly switch your answers, because this is really, I think about different ways of looking at our crafting. And And I know this is what we try to do. We just want to build community and just enjoy all these things together. So we just thought this would be a fun way to, to look at that. Oh, see, Judy, Crafter Connector, sending out 100 cards per month. Absolutely. That is connecting the world. And you know what else is? If she does that 100, she might also be a crafty, efficient, someone has to teach me how to say that word, because she'd be looking for lots of ways to streamline making cards, because this is her core value. So I think that's kind of fun. Now, the hobby hugger could be someone, you know, the people that say, oh, I love making cards and make a lot, but I don't have anyone to send them to. That's a hobby hugger. You're doing it. So our challenge to you is, oh, let's think of some places you could send them. And I know some of you are thinking that's me. It's like the cobbler's children have no shoes. It's and then the technique tinkerer is those of you who just love to explore creativity and do all things. So, you know, we try to cover all these things in our All Good Cards Club and everything that we do. So we just so appreciate you guys being part of our life. And I just want to point that out. And all of these, any of these reasons are also good reasons. If you ever want to buy the starter kit, there is no obligation, and it is just fun and a way to just get closer into the connections of the things that we do. So it's all fun. So I'm going to read a couple. Joan says, Crafty Connector. I've done all sorts of crafts over the years for family and friends and church friends. Wonderful. And people are talking about where they give them, which I just love. So, you know, it just leads into all these fun conversations. So yeah, tell your friend to come take this quiz if they like. I would love to just see if this is fun. We'll do more of this kind of thing. If people have fun.
More to read?
A lot giving to seniors' homes. Kathy says, Tim, clean up my back porch. I love that. My husband will help me reach something or help me find something that's flown off my desk. But I doubt that in all of his kindness, he would clean up for me. Oh, I know. I'm head to pat him on the shoulder and I can't even see. Joan says she cooks, her husband cleans. It's a good deal. Nice. Sharon says, I need to pick her up. Or maybe we could just hire you out. You know? Yeah. Oh, so fun. Judy says, happy hugger. She says, crafting is my therapy. Oh, that is so true. Oh, and we have one. Patricia is a technique tinkerer. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad to see one in here because I wasn't seeing any of those. So I just see then you stand out because you're unusual. And, you know, I think all of us.
She didn't say odd, just unusual.
I think all of us have some of each of these, most likely, you know, but it's just kind of fun to look at that and think, what is my strength? What do I do with this? And it gives purpose to what we do. Anyway, so have a fun weekend and enjoy this.
Can I just say that Karen's working on a master's degree in crafting, and this was a part of her paper. You know?
Yeah, that's right. I was going to put this in for review because it's a really in-depth research study. But we love bringing past the old ideas, I think. So just in memory of all those things we have in the paper, we will do more. So it'll be fun to come back and look at everything.
Go down to the bottom, see if there's any more that.
Okay, let me just see. So she's wanting my address. I can send you some cards. I'd say I will just put that in the show notes. Karen's thesis.
Say it again. I can't understand.
My thesis. This is Karen's thesis for research.
Yes, it is. It is.
That is so fun. And Kathy says, I love that. I feel tinkerer in my soul. My score, says the hobby hugger. Okay, that's an awesome comment, I think, because it's like those can be different things. I think, you know, and when we were reading this, it was really interesting because it so totally fit you. But when it comes right down to it, this is you at your core. So it's kind of interesting how there can be those things. I really love that. So thanks for joining us. Have fun and tell you later. If you enjoyed this, tell your friends. Tell them to take this quiz.